Don't listen to anybody who tells you that dreams have no significance, because dreams can be as real as reality, sometimes more so. And for me, I get all of my advice from my dreams, or to put it more precisely, I get all of my advice from my subconscious. I've come to the realization over the years that you shouldn't ask anybody for advice. Do not ask anybody for advice. The only person you can ask for advice, barring a few very specific occasions where there might be someone who you can ask for advice, but they're very, very high above you, they're very intelligent, and even then a lot of things have to go right for them to give you the good, correct advice. You should only listen to yourself, and this is a lost art. We are all completely lost at the moment. Maybe we have been forever, but now more than ever, do we not trust our own inner spirit, because we are disconnected from our own inner spirit. We don't even know what that is anymore. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you some of my systems for how I give myself advice. And I'm going to teach you how you can give yourself advice by doing crazy things like analyzing your dreams. Like I said at the beginning, don't listen to anybody who tells you dreams have no significance. I always say this to people. Look, people like talking about their dreams. They'll be like, oh, this crazy dream happened and blah, 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 blah. And I'll say, well, that's interesting. What do you think that means? It means nothing. People always say, it means nothing, it's random. And yes, occasionally you might have something random, or you might have a dream that's sparked by something in your waking life, all right? Something that you saw and your mind is just unraveling it and playing it over. But very, very often, when that's not the case, when your dream isn't connected to something concrete happening in your life, your dream means something. It is your fear, it is your desire, it's your unconscious wishes being played out. And very often there are symbols talking to you. Your subconscious is talking to you and guiding you either to something or away from something. And it's all about knowing how to read this stuff. That's how you get into it. That's how you get into the good stuff. And that's how you stop relying on other people to give you shitty advice. You can give yourself the best advice you can possibly dream of. Here's what Carl Jung says about dreams. The two fundamental points in dealing with dreams are these. First, the dream should be treated as a fact, about which one must make no previous assumption except that it somehow makes sense. And second, the dream is a specific expression of the unconscious. All right, so from now on, from this day forward, no matter how crazy it seems, trust the process and give it to the end of the year, or if there's not much time left in the year, give it 6 months, where you're going to say, hey, all of my dreams are fact. I'm going to treat them as hard fact, and I'm going to treat them as messages from my unconscious that are designed to help me. Now, after you've experimented, if you've decided that this is a bunch of bullshit, well, at least you've tried it, okay? That's the best thing. I hate it when people are negative and they refuse stuff without trying it first. You have no right to refuse something or call something crazy until you've tried it yourself and come to that conclusion. Hopefully what you'll realize, though, is that although it sounds crazy and looks crazy and probably is crazy, it's not crazy. You are tapping into something integral, something that most people have lost. That's why people call it crazy, because they can't understand it. As the great poet Rainer Maria Rilke says, you are looking toward the outside, and that above all is the one thing you should not do at the moment. Nobody can give you advice and help you. Nobody. There's only one way. Go within yourself. So that's the thing. This sounds scary, but this is liberating. You are completely alone. No one can help you, and the only person who can help you is you. From this day forward, you need to treat yourself as though you have this inner sage, this inner wise man or woman who's guiding you through the trials and tribulations of life. So I get to the airport, the Russian cabbie has been a bit pissy the whole ride through. He just wants his money, just wants to leave. I pay him, tip him even though I really shouldn't. It was terrible fucking service. And then it hits me. I'm in the airport, I'm looking at the departure times, I'm already running late, I don't know if I'm going to make it through security, and then I realize I have left my luggage at the hotel. I start freaking out. I say to the cab driver, have we got time? Can I go back in time and then make it? But the answer is quite obvious. No. I've been given a choice here. I can either go back for my luggage and I'll miss the flight, or I can take the flight without my luggage. And this starts to distress me because my luggage is really fucking important to me. And then I wake up. So do you know what my my dream means? I'll tell you what it means. It's an anxiety dream, and it can be quite common. Now, I wasn't getting a flight the next day. Obviously, if I actually was getting a flight or was leaving on a journey soon, then that's normal. That's an anxiety dream. Oh, I don't want to leave my luggage, etc., etc. I wasn't though. So for me, dissecting this dream, the plane symbolizes opportunity, chance, a new endeavor, a new opportunity. And what does luggage symbolize? Now, this can be different for different people depending on where you are in your life, what's happened in your life. So for me, luggage, because I know what I'm going through, luggage symbolizes preparation. Recently, I've been getting into a lot of new endeavors, and my problem is just procrastinating by over-preparing. So like, I'm too scared to dive into something new sometimes, so I'll prepare endlessly. But what my dream was telling me is that by doing so, you'll miss the opportunity. So I woke up and I had a decision. Do I throw myself at the opportunity, sacrifice preparation, or do I go back, try to prepare more, but miss the opportunity? So, and this was very helpful for me. This told me, yo, you need to dive right in. You need to stop preparing so much, and you just need to let the chips fall where they may. Now, this is what's interesting, is because if a different person had this dream, it wouldn't mean the same thing. Just say a woman had this dream, and she had recently broke up with her boyfriend of many years. Do you know what your luggage symbolizes in that situation? Think metaphorically, because this is really, really important. What's another way to call luggage? Baggage, okay? Now, we all go into new relationships with old baggage. Sometimes you'll miss an opportunity because you've brought the baggage from your past relationship into the new one. So in that situation, if I was that woman having that dream, I would be like, I need to go, I need to leave my baggage behind because it is not helping me anymore. And I need to go into this opportunity afresh, anew, or I won't find love, or I won't find the possibility of maybe something developing because I'm holding onto this baggage. Now, I'd say think metaphorically, because when you look at language, like, our language is bloated with metaphor, and there is a reason for this. It's not coincidental. Anything that's developed linguistically is not coincidental. It is all connected to something quite deep, something that spans many countries, spans many ages. I had another dream, and this was last year, and this was when I was going through a lot of shit, which I won't get into, but I had a dream that a monkey was on my back. Now think about that. We say, oh, there's a monkey on my back. Metaphorically, what does that mean? That in the dream, it became a lucid dream, and I was scared of this monkey on my back. But I turned around, I grabbed this monkey, and I looked him in the face, and it was terrifying, but the monkey shrunk. So when we look at the demons, we look at the monsters, when we look at them in the face, they shrink in size, okay? So that's what my dream was telling me to do. Do not keep the monkey on your back. Look the problem right in the face and deal with it. So keep in mind that there is no universal definition, universal like dictionary of dreams. There's a lot of dream dictionaries online. They're interesting, they're fun, and maybe you can use them for guidance, but they are not holy gospel. You really have to do your own thinking and trust yourself and come up with different ideas. So you see a plane in your dream, think 5 different things. What could it mean? Maybe a dream dictionary says, oh, it's opportunity. Maybe. But come up with 4 more things that it could possibly be for you by introspecting, thinking about your life, your personality, what's happened recently in the last month, the last year, what you think is going to happen in the future. Really think deeply, because you'll uncover your own little dictionary of symbols that mean something to you. As Jung says, no dream symbol can be separated from the individual who dreams it, and there is no definite or straightforward interpretation of any dream. Okay? Learn as much as you can about symbolism, then forget it all when you are analysing a dream. So yeah, become a student of symbols, read books on symbols, read Carl Jung and all that stuff, become, a bit of an expert, and then forget it all, okay? And then let your intuition take over. Another thing I want you to start doing is write down your dreams as soon as you can after waking. Alright, you don't want to forget them. The longer you stay awake after having a dream, the more the dream disappears into nothingness, taking the advice that you could have had along with it. So when you're still half sleepy, have a book by your bed and a pen and whatever, and write down what you've just seen. Here's a little mini checklist of things like questions you can ask yourself when you're analysing a dream. What are the core, key, or most striking images of the dream? For example, a plane, a person, an animal, and so on. How are the images connected? Can you think of at least 3 potential meanings of the symbols? What was the mood of the dream? What emotions did you feel? For example, anxiety, nostalgia, heartbreak. Did the dream highlight a wish or ambition? Or did it work through a fear? What obstacles did you face in the dream? Could anything in the dream be read metaphorically? For example, the monkey on your back. Did the dream leave a question unanswered or present you with a decision to be made? Okay, so obviously dreams are not the only way that you can give yourself advice. They're not the only way into the subconscious. There's another thing. There's a practice that you can do, which I learned from my friend Misha Thomas. And this practice is well, you can do it as long as you want, but it's a 5-day practice. Whatever issue you're struggling with right now, maybe you want to unlearn a bad habit, or maybe you want a new habit, or maybe you're depressed or anxious, whatever issue it is, pick one. And then every day for 5 days, ideally in the morning when you wake up, you're going to answer a set of questions. Now, there's only a few questions, and the idea here is you are not being judgmental. You will write lovingly. Treat yourself as though you are someone you love and you want the best for this person. You do not judge. Anything you put on paper is fine, judgment is not. And also another thing is, you're not trying to change, okay? So maybe you know that you need to change. This practice isn't trying to force you into changing anything. It's just asking you to consider some things. And what you'll find by the end of the 5 days is you've started changing anyway. Like if you really consider the answers to these questions and do it properly, spend some time with it, you will start changing. And what's great is people can say, hey, do this, whatever, give you advice, but we are all different in our own ways and no advice is going to be applicable to everybody. So this is a good way to give yourself advice. You'll see where and how you need to change, how you can do it gently in a way that is best for you. Now, the questions you're going to answer are, 1, what do you get from X? What's the payoff? So X could be being depressed. What do you get from being depressed? What do you get from being anxious? What do you get from being socially anxious? Whatever issue you're dealing with. Question 2, what will it cost you? So what will happen if you keep being like this? Like really envision it. What's going to happen? 3, what would it mean for you to have no X at all? So if you had no depression, no anxiety, I'm just assuming that you're dealing with this, no drug addiction, no procrastination issues, what would it mean if that was gone? Visualize a life, a future in which this is no longer a thing for you. 4, what evidence do you have for this? Okay, so really examine it. So for example, I remember Misha, my friend who showed me this, he was telling me that he did this because he was feeling depressed and his other friend walked him through it. And he's like, oh, I'm so depressed. How can you not see this? And his friend was like, what evidence do you have for this? And they questioned it. He was like, are you still getting out of bed at the right time? Yeah, more or less. How's your work? Doing really well, actually. Okay. You took a trip to Europe recently. Yeah, who planned that? Me. Okay. You laughed a lot. I seen you laugh. Like you go through and you question, what is the evidence? Like really, you are holding on to a story that you probably learned when you were a child. And you keep telling yourself this story because it reinforces some sense of character or some sense of ego. But really, we need to question these stories that we tell ourselves. We have long-running stories in our minds and we need to question them because many of them are false and they're unhelpful. Thoughts are either harmful or helpful, useful or useless. Adopt the thoughts that help you. Discard the ones that keep damaging you because if you examine them, they're not true anyway. A few more questions you can ask as an add-on. What is the meaning of X, blank, whatever you're going through? What is the story you are holding regarding all of this? Now examine it. Like ask yourself, what is the story that's running through my head about this? And also, what can you do as a matter of practice to ensure the holding of a preferred story? This is where your mind starts thinking about actions. And remember, we're not telling ourselves to actually take any action. We're just answering the question. You do this 5 days in a row, you suddenly start kind of taking some action. It's very powerful, subtle but powerful. Okay, another thing you can do is go to an art gallery. Now this is a wonderful tip that I learned from the Wall Street Playboys. I actually did a write-up of my experience with this and you can check it out. There's a link below to benjaminmcavoy.com, the article I'm talking about. What you're gonna do is you're gonna use art as a gateway into your subconscious. Sounds crazy, works 100% of the time, okay? Go to an art gallery, alone, with a problem in the back of your mind that you want an answer to, you want a decision made, okay? Go to the art gallery. Preferably you want to go somewhere that's got like a real variety of art. So you've got sculptures, paintings, whatever. And then wander around look at each, exhibit, each piece of art, and you're going to be waiting for the ones that grab you. So you'll know something's grabbed you because you can't look away. Maybe you stare at it for 5 minutes. Maybe the background, noise fades away. There's only going to be a few that really capture you like this. And when you're going through the gallery, don't take any pictures. You're not looking at your phone. You are in a meditative trance, okay? Once you've gone through the whole thing, go back and find, 5 that really spoke to you. Now you can take a picture. Take a picture of the art and take a picture of the description. You want to know the artist's name and the title. And then later, analyze, look for patterns, okay? For example, if you found that you're drawn to scenes of battle, your subconscious might be telling you to fight on, to keep going. If you're drawn to scenes of torture, maybe your subconscious is saying you are going down the wrong path, okay? You might find that you're drawn to certain mediums, okay? You might like marble sculptures. You might like watercolors. Find the pattern and then analyze why you like these things. Again, check out my article. You'll be able to see how I did this, and you'll see the exact paintings that spoke to me and helped me. But this is very, very powerful as a practice. I recommend people do this. Well, hey, you could do this every month, every couple of months. Do it as often as you need. Any excuse to go to an art gallery, and if it helps you get through some tough times, that's great as well. Now, all of this seems really crazy, but really, if you go to the esoteric, if you go to the eccentric, this is where you can have some real breakthroughs. I mean, even recently, a friend did my tarot reading, and it's like, I don't really believe in angels or, that sort of thing, but the cards came up and they gave me some sort of explanation. And you know what? It wasn't predicting my future. It wasn't really telling me about my past, although it was accurate. But what was told to me in the reading got my mind thinking in a way that only my mind could about the problem that I was dealing with at that time. So someone else could have had the exact same reading and it could have been applicable to them. But that doesn't matter. It's not about believing this, it's hocus pocus, all this shit. No, it's about giving your subconscious free rein to play and unravel and have some choice to, bring it to the surface. Okay, so another thing I like to do is deep breathing. If you check out Wim Hof, the Wim Hof method, there's a style of deep breathing that it looks like hyperventilation, but it brings the blood pressure down, makes the blood alkaline. It's great, reduces inflammation, reduces depression, gets rid of anxiety. I did this deep breathing, and it even releases DMT in small quantities in the brain. Did this deep breathing, and then went into a cold plunge pool. Again, this isn't advice. I don't recommend people to do this. But when I did this, I got a breakthrough. And whenever I really need a breakthrough and nothing else is working, deep breathing, cold water, analyzing dreams, looking at art in that method that I just told you, this is all very useful stuff. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful for you, and moreover, I hope that you actually try this stuff and be on the lookout for what your subconscious is telling you, because to be honest, you will give yourself better advice than almost anybody else can give you. You're smarter than you know, and there is something beyond the surface mind that is super helpful, super intelligent on a natural level. And whatever issue you're facing right now, you can overcome it. Just go within, introspect, connect with your inner self, and you'll overcome it. 100%. Anyway, if you try this stuff out, please let me know how you got on. Let me know what worked, what didn't work. And if you found this video interesting, please hit the like button. If you want more videos in the future, please subscribe, because that'll tell me that people think this is kind of cool. And yeah, thank you for watching, and see you soon.